Where's the strangest place you've lost your car keys? Inside the refrigerator? The washer or dryer? The trunk of your car? The kitty litter box? Well, good news, because even if you've lost your keys on the moon, you can still unlock your car and get where you're going with available digital key in the 2023 all-new Kia Niro EV. Farther for all. To learn more, visit kia.com/NeroEV today. Kia, movement that inspires.
Hey there, and welcome to Fan Theory Queries, where we analyze fan theories from all over the internet, but mostly Reddit. I'm Laura.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Spencer, and we once again welcome back the guys from Two Chunks and a Hunk, the movie discussion podcast that you can find anywhere you listen to podcasts. Guys, I'm not going to be rude and say your name for you. Would you like to say your name starting in alphabetical order? Introduce yourselves, please.
Carter. Doge. Jordan.
Great job.
Yay!
I was like, Doge, your name is Justin and you don't go before me. And then I remember that's
Carter's name is John.
That's
He should
true.
go before you. Just
He
three,
did go before me.
just three cool J's podcasting our little hearts out.
Podcasting away.
All right, well, thanks again, guys, for joining us. If anybody listening missed the previous episode, Doge did a great job explaining the biology of a Dilophosaurus named Dylan and whether or not Nedry's hood impacted his death, or caused his death, sort of. So go back and listen to that, but for now, we're going to listen to a theory chosen by Jordan.
Jordan, take it away.
I'd love to. I have something a little unorthodox prepared for today. I hope that's okay.
Oh, yes,
A song.
it is.
Is it a song?
It's a song. Can I get a C? I'd like to start as normal. I'd like to start with the Reddit theories, but I'd like to take us somewhere if that's okay. If everybody can trust me and hang on for the ride, I'd
On a
like to
journey.
go somewhere.
Yeah, I trust you.
So, what I'd like to start with is the theory from Reddit posted by user CMFrank32. Title of the post: White Goodman from Dodgeball is Tony Perkis from Heavyweights. This is what CMFrank32 had to say. These are his words. Their words. This is far more than simply the fact that they were played by the same actor. Let's look at the two films. Heavyweights. Tony Perkis, former fitness instructor, takes over a fat camp, in quotes. Through the course of the film, we learn about Tony's early life, how he was 319 pounds at age 12, had low self-esteem, bad skin, and no self-respect. We learn he was educated by private tutors and that his father, Tony Perkis Sr., is a wealthy, self-made man. We learn Tony Perkis Jr. was left to fend for himself at some point. We also learn that Tony had almost zero interaction with other kids growing up. In these revelations, we are painted a picture of a man dealing with some deep-seated issues of self-worth and projecting those issues onto the campers. His behavior in the film makes sense, but we also get to find out that he hates the concept of ugliness, fatness, and the idea of not being in shape. He attempts to motivate the campers with such lines as, "I know each and every one of you because I was you."
Oh, beautiful.
That felt good
thought it was
coming out.
him.
I didn't know if it... Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a YouTube
Is Tony
been?
in the room with us now? Can we speak with Tony?
I think I'm him. He also tends to get common knowledge things wrong, like when he talks about Icarus and gets Sisyphus and Icarus combined. Did you ever hear the story of Icarus, who continually rolled the ball up the hill? But when he got too close, the ball melted in the heat of the sun? You're all like Icarus. He truly believes that fat kids have no value. Time to wake up, campers. Today is evaluation day. The keyword here is value. Do you have any? Not yet. But before summer's over, this camp's going to be filled with skinny winners. In the film,
Skinny wieners?
Skinny wieners? In the film, Tony loses to the fat kids at camp, effectively losing to the fat people that he hates, remembering himself as a fat kid. By the way, don't know if I mentioned this yet, double featured both of these to prepare. Heavyweights, rules. I mean, all-timer. Such a good movie.
When I
Let's
realized
go
the
yes,
impact that Paul Feig had on The Office, and seeing him on
Joel McHale show.
on Joel McHale show and whatnot, and I finally put two and two together that he is the crazy counselor out there. I'm just a love machine. I was like, oh, Paul Feig.
D-U-R-D-A-Y. Yeah, there's so much that I love. Callie and I had a beta fish named Lars, and we operated on the body system every day with Lars,
Very
making sure
good.
he was well fed, taken care of.
Do it to it, Lars.
Let's do it to it. I'm feeling skinny, Tony. Let's talk dodgeball. In this film, we're introduced to White Goodman, an egotistical owner of Globo Gym looking to take over a rival gym, Average Joe's. We learn that White was once a very large, fat man that started working out and turned into the svelte man he is today. He founded Globo Gym with a large inheritance from his father, Earl Goodman. He hates the concept of normalcy or fatness so much that he declares in his slogan, "At Globo Gym, we're better than you, and we know it." White is also completely out of touch with how people interact. The lines, "Joni loves Chachi," "to be continued," naming his employees or giving them titles such as Blade, Laser, Blazer, etc. His entire interactions with Michelle, all signs point to a man completely out of touch with reality and unable to form basic social connections. He's also completely incapable of common knowledge things, such as thinking King Midas had silver. Stick it in your ear, LaFleur. I wouldn't sell you your gym back for all of King Midas's silver. The gym is mine, so you can take your band of yellow-bellied losers and just crawl on out of here. At the end of the movie, we see him attempting to bribe Peter into giving up his gym, but it backfires, and we get to watch White Goodman go back to the grossly overweight guy living in a situation where he laments his life and wallows in his own cynicism and self-pity. So how do they connect? After his defeat at Camp Hope, Tony Perkis Sr. swooped in and took the camp away from Tony Perkis Jr. Tony then fell into a depressive, self-pitying state and couldn't cope with the fact that the fat kids bested him. He spent the years after losing Camp Hope getting fat and hating himself. Then his dad, Tony Perkis Sr., died. With his dad's death, Tony had a wake-up call about his own death as well as inheriting a bunch of money from his father. Tony went on a weight loss diet and decided to start working out. Eventually, he decided his dream of a weight loss video was not as profitable as a gym, and he decided to take his dad's money to open up Globo Gym. The only problem? The Perkis name. He couldn't reinvent the Perkis system. Or people, such a good name. Or people would remember the fiasco at Camp Hope, so he reinvented himself. He changed his name to White Goodman. He is white, and remember, he has very limited social interactions, so he figures this is a fine name. Wants to appeal to a general audience. Good man. He's a good man. Good. The name works. He started referring to his father as Earl instead of Tony, and he opens up Globo Gym. While White/Tony, my apologies, must further his goals of defeating fatness, ugliness, and normalcy. This is all that he hates about himself, so that his tagline for Globo Gym becomes, "We're better than you, and we know it." He has no self-esteem and must obtain it from others. Dodgeball is essentially a sequel to Heavyweights, detailing the continuing downfall of White/Tony.
That's
pretty thick. It's a thick theory.
Yeah.
And I like it a lot. CM Frank 32, Reddit user CM Frank 32, those were all their words. And CM Frank 32, if somehow you end up listening to me read your comment, I love it. I think it's great. I'd like to try something.
Okay.
I think I have a better theory.
Oh.
I'd like to still rate this one.
Okay.
But I'd love if at the end we could decide where mine stacks against it.
Yes.
I love that.
That sounds great.
Fair.
So there's some comments on this one. They talk about different things, but essentially and I don't think it's actually in this list of comments, but I looked up the original post, and there's a comment talking about the time gap and about how the time doesn't make sense. Dodgeball, there's an ad at the very beginning for Globo Gym that says, in 1987, I weighed, however many pounds, and 6 years later, I looked like this. Or I look like this. People were saying the movie takes place in 1993. And at that point, I thought my theory was shot because Heavyweights takes place in 1995. But no. We're good. Because at the very beginning of this movie, Peter LaFleur gets a call from a video rental store letting him know that there are 4 DVDs past due. And they talk about Lance Armstrong being a 5-time Tour de France winner.
Whoa.
Not yet, baby.
Not yet.
Not in 1995, they didn't. This movie's like 2003, 2004 at the earliest. Therefore, I present to you my alternative theory.
All right, let's hear it.
I think that White Goodman is the real name of this gentleman. I do not think Tony Perkis came first. I believe that White Goodman is the estranged and erstwhile son of, I'm going to go with probably a state senator, somebody high up in government with a lot of money. And I think that White never really meshed well with that world. He wanted to snack. He wanted to relax. he wanted not to fight back. But instead, all he ever got was flack. And I believe in my heart that the only option White Goodman found was the solace of working out, opening a gym, and becoming a mogul. And his dad was finally proud of him, which helps, I think. But around the time that he wanted to go worldwide as a phenomenon, his dad said, I can't have my son, I'm running for president right now. I can't have my son running some fat camp. That's embarrassing. Okay, Dad, one step ahead of you. Nom de plume. I'll change it. I'll change my name right here, right now. Tony Perkis, because I'm going to have those kids perking right up. It's going to feel great. He records the video. It does not go well. Dad has to come in. Nope. He hires an actor. That's why they're so cold, so distant when Tony is finally picked up from the camp, because they are burying this story. It can't make global news. That's political suicide. So instead, he goes to a rehab facility. He works his way back into his father's good graces. He continues to run Globo Gym from the shadows. Till the late 90s, when everything cools off a little bit, he's able to step back into the fluorescent light of the gym. He works out, and then all of a sudden, who's that knocking on his door but just some regular nerd like the entire fat camp that chose to fight back against him? And I think that is the animosity that White Goodman presents in Dodgeball. It's not simply, you're not good enough, you're not strong enough. It's, I already did this once. I'll teach you the same lesson twice. And he fails yet again. And his father's political career goes up in smoke. It's all over.
Dang.
Kaput.
Wow.
Because it was
now
all
we have-
on.
Wow.
Now we have two theories to.
It all went out on the Ocho, ESPN Ocho, so everyone would have seen it.
Yeah.
All played out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Okay, well, I'm impressed at how you connected them, and it was how different.
Bravo, Jordan.
Yeah.
It's a whole new era when you go into writing your own theories, right, Spencer?
Oh, absolutely.
Spencer wrote one.
About the press
love
speech.
Yes.
But I mean, it was so different from the original. I mean, you still tied the two characters together, but in a completely different way. Major props.
I'd say it's more like two different types of French fries, right? Is it that different? No, but one's curly and one's crinkly, and I
It's got a crinkle in it. When does he become a male model for 2 movies? Is that all the same guy?
Hey, I'm not kidding. I genuinely thought about trying to connect every role Ben Stiller has ever had into one long string of people. I could not.
Stillerverse.
The Stiller.
Yeah, then he falls on such hard times, becomes a security guard at the museum. And
Yeah. Walter Mitty is the gateway. Like, that is all
I
a lot of different worlds.
haven't seen that yet, but I really want to.
Very good. After you watch Jurassic Park the second time, you should watch
Watch it twice.
Walter Mitty.
Okay, so let's go back to the original. Does anybody have any initial thoughts on that? Try to separate what you just heard. Have we all seen both of these movies?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember the first time that I saw Dodgeball before I saw Heavyweights.
Okay.
Because was Heavyweights it wasn't a DCOM, was it?
No, but it was
No.
on Disney like almost constantly.
Yeah, I was a Nickelodeon kid, so I blame that for a lot of like lack of Disney intake from that era. We had a whole series on 2 Chunks where we went through all of those. I saw Brink for the first time.
Woo!
All sorts of stuff.
Yes.
It was a blast. But I think so. I saw Dodgeball first, then I saw Heavyweights, and I remember thinking like, how lazy. Because it does feel. So much of it feels like a bit of an alley-oop. It's what you do with it after. You know, it's the pizzazz when you're doing that theory, but not surprised at all that there's a theory here because it is the same. He's basically the same person. Which,
That is
I
so
love
true.
it. I don't want
Sorry.
to give away.
Yeah.
I knew I grew up watching Heavyweights constantly. My favorite camper was the British camper because I loved so much that he was able to answer all the history questions in the competition with Campy and VP.
Nerd.
And I'm pretty sure he's also the one that brought sausage links hidden under his jacket. Melted chocolate. Melted chocolate everywhere.
This movie had such an imprint on my life that when I saw the moment in, this is bad, when I saw the moment in Stranger Things when Hopper was going to hide food out in the wilderness for 11, I thought of Heavyweights.
Yeah.
So good.
Smuggling food into camp in that stump.
That's so good. It's the same. I assume Hopper went to Camp Hope.
Good point.
Theory.
Good point.
Yep,
Good point. I do believe though, because it has such an impact on me that when I first saw Dodgeball, I was going, why? Why is this? I'm looking at him and I've seen this character before. I've seen him play this character before, and it was not too long until I remembered. Oh yeah, it's Heavyweights. It's Heavyweights, and so I was just so glad to see. Honestly, like a lot of people have written on this. People have even put up the side-by-side pictures of White Goodman, and then like
the same actor. These guys look so
Check out
much.
what I just noticed. Look at their noses, dude.
Hey man,
Yeah.
like, okay, my favorite theory that I gave a genius to that Spencer is still a little salty on is that Ulysses Everett McGill from Oh Brother Where Art Thou is the great grandfather of Danny Ocean. Okay,
Danny Ocean, I love that.
back off. I love it. And
That's amazing.
Powerful.
but definitely, like when you put this side by side, even like the hairstyle and everything, and just like the attitude and all that, it's just so it's very similar, and I really love that.
But they have different facial hair.
They do.
Right. Well, one has facial hair and one has.
So do you sometimes, though. But
You know who
I'm not
else
the
you
same
could tie
person.
in? You know who else you could tie in with those two characters, though, pretty easily is Ben Stiller's character in Happy Gilmore.
I don't even
He
remember.
plays
him.
the
Oh my gosh.
orderly that is taking care of Happy Gilmore's
yeah.
grandmother, who's just a horrible person.
That's
I
right.
like when
What
he
a
picks
jerk.
up Happy Gilmore's grandmother and he's like, "Come on, you devil love."
Yep.
Okay, so we've got two theories, we've had some comments, we have some discussion. Does anybody have anything they want to like bring up or like clarify?
I need clarification on Jordan's theory.
Okay.
Gosh,
Because
please only rate the real theory. That's just for fun. Yes, go ahead.
because Ben Stiller plays both Tony Perkis Jr. and Sr. When he is being Tony Perkis Sr., are you saying, I can't remember correctly, are you saying that that's an actor that the politician dad hired? Oh. Okay.
That is exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
Amazing.
Well, it's kind of like in The
100% exactly
Prestige,
the same.
where Angier, Hugh Jackman's character, they hire a look-alike to play him on stage. Yeah. Bring it around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, connect them. It's a whole cinematic universe. I love it. Okay.
It's actually a distant sequel to The Prestige. You heard it.
If you can dodge a wrench, don't drown in a tank.
You must watch closely to dodge a wrench.
I like how cockney that was.
Oi! That's Christian Bale. Are you watching closely?
Okay. Well, I think that's a great place to take a break,
Yeah.
and we will be right back after these wonderful ads.
Where's the strangest place you've lost your car keys? Inside the refrigerator, the washer or dryer, the trunk of your car, the kitty litter box? Well, good news, because even if you've lost your keys on the moon, you can still unlock your car and get where you're going with available digital key in the 2023 all-new Kia Niro EV. Farther for all. To learn more, visit kia.com/Niro EV today. Kia, movement that inspires.
All right, so we are back. We've had a moment to get our giggles out because this is serious stuff we're about to get down.
Yeah.
We're going to rate these.
Yeah.
I don't know about
This
you.
theory, we're not going to rate Jordan's.
Yes,
He asked
we
for
are.
an omission
Oh.
on that.
Oh,
Didn't-
we're not going to rate?
That's just at the. I don't want a rating on mine. Just like where does it stand versus?
I'll
the
text you my
other.
rating
That's all I'm
privately.
asking. Yeah,
It doesn't
just
deserve
DM
a
me after.
rating until it's been
On Reddit.
put onto Reddit for the whole world to scrutinize.
I gave up Reddit. It made me too sad at all times. I can't do it anymore. It's
fair.
such a
A lot of
bummer.
sad.
Always.
It's a lot of sad.
You'd go
Okay,
on the
well,
you'd be like, Survivor. This is for fans of Survivor. And then you click on one, and everybody's like, I hate Survivor. Oh, okay.
Oh no! Oh no!
That's my
You're
impression
not
of
wrong.
Reddit.
Yeah, that's
That's
it.
your impression.
Hardly know her. It's just a bunch of that over and over again. So.
See, I'd go to that website.
Oh man.
Good. How about, hey, Michael, can you just real quick remind us of our rating scale?
Yeah, you got it. The highest rating that we have is genius. This is reserved for only the best theories, which we believe are better than the actual canon. The next step down is plausible. It's a good theory, it's believable. Unlikely is next. It's not a terrible theory, but pretty unlikely, as the name suggests. And then the last thing is preposterous. These are the theories that are just stupid. Basically, we're all dumber for having listened to them.
So, who is ready to give us what they're thinking first?
I'll kick things off. Okay.
Floor is yours.
So as far as the original theory goes, I give both of them grief for saying something is plausible simply because it's the same actor in two different movies. That they're like, we had Jim Carrey in Sonic is actually Truman from the Truman Show,
Yes, we
who
did.
his trauma from exiting Truman Show led him to become Dr. Robotnik and all that. And I don't know. I was like,
I loved it.
no,
I
but
go nuts for those.
in this particular case, the reason why I'm going to say that I think that it is plausible is because they are essentially the same person.
Sure.
They are.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that as an actor. I mean that as the character in the movies. And that's why I have so much grief with some of the other instances is they're not like there's not enough tying them together for me to at least consider it. But I think that they have the same motivations, the same the almost Michael Scott level of wrong references and being wrong about things.
That was a very good piece of evidence.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
I don't have a hard time making this leap to say that it could be the same person.
So then what's your rating?
I said it's plausible.
Plausible. Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal. Who's next?
I see your leap, and I raise you a genius.
Oh,
I think it's
there we
genius.
go.
I think I am discovering, and I've only just dipped my toes into theories, and that's probably because I don't use Facebook. I haven't used Facebook in a long time. But I think it's genius because I think when it makes the story better and like more enjoyable overall,
Yes.
to say that something is canon, like this makes me want to go watch Heavyweights and Dodgeball now.
You
and I think
should.
I think if it's lending and fluffing up, the movies in general to have another watch, I'm all for it. So I think it's genius. I think they're both genius. The real one and the one that Jordan shared. That wasn't his.
you.
Jordan's is the real one
Fake one.
in my eyes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, then I have to give my determination on Jordan's as well. I think yours is just as plausible, if not slightly more so.
It's
Because
just the same Siri with a different hat on, so I appreciate that.
I buy the politician thing. I loved that twist. And the hiring the actor, that's great. But yes, I think you have a career ahead of you in theory writing, at least as long as Ben Stiller's involved. So
We've got to make the Ben Stiller cinematic universe.
Have you considered going into
the Ben
Stillerology?
CU.
Stillerology. The Ben CU is very good.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you. That was quick.
I'm gonna give this
Cinematic.
one a genius as well. I think this is
right.
really good. I think it absolutely enhances both movies. The nail in the coffin for me is the parallel misquoting of myths or folk stories.
Totally.
That is shocking to me. That feels on the same level as like Jeff Bridges playing Rooster Cogburn in True Grit, and then in R.I.P.D. he was like, I could just do Rooster Cogburn again, and they let him do Rooster Cogburn again.
So good. Hell or High
I love
Water.
it.
He really is kind of the same person
Yeah.
there for a while.
Yeah.
I will go ahead and say I agree. This theory is genius. These two men are one man. I mean, it definitely is. There's even things down to mannerisms and the way that they speak, and that is so similar. I mean, Spencer could come in here and do his normal grouchy thing and just be like, well, it's the same actor. And I'm like, but a good actor would have changed it up. But the fact that he kept them the same,
He is a good actor.
and he is an excellent actor, so I'm going to say the fact
Right.
that he kept them very similar still tells
That's
me
why I didn't bring that up.
That's his little, he's looking in the camera. He's not going to wink, though. But They're the same. So,
You know.
genius.
Okay, I am actually also going to ride that genius train.
Choo choo.
A lot of the same reasons that you guys presented. It literally is the same character. There are too many things that you can compare that are one for one with each one. And especially, like Spencer, you said and Doge, I believe you said this as well, the messing up of the jokes and references. Like that for me just seals the deal. So yeah, I'm giving this one a straight genius. And Jordan, you get a preposterous. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You get a genius.
Oh, thank you.
It was just as good. Maybe a little bit better.
I'm also going to give it a genius. It's a genius for me. I picked this one on title alone because I read it and was like, of course. Literally, of course. They're the same. I didn't have to be convinced at all. Like, the theory might have been like, guys, I'm starting to think that Fellowship of the Ring and Two Towers takes place in the same universe. And I'd be like, duh. Good theory. 100% true. Like, this is not only is it a great and well-written theory by our wonderful Reddit friend CM Frank 32, but it genuinely improves both movies when I think this. And for me, I think that's rare for a fan theory to be so good that I hope it's true.
Yeah.
I've even heard some that I don't want to be true, but I'm like, oh, it does sound pretty true, unfortunately. This one is so good that if they ever come out and try and shut it down, I will simply plug my ears.
Well, according to Michael, the worst thing that will happen is that Reddit will delete your account, but it'll just come up as user deleted.
It's just like a lot of those user deletes.
Your impact will still be on the internet.
Love that.
Just anonymously.
All right.
Yep.
Well, this was great. I loved it. That was a really fun one. Thanks for bringing that. And also for taking that leap of creating your own theory and, having the confidence to share that with all of us.
Real quick, I mean, we've already plugged like where everybody can listen to their show and everything. What are some exciting things that you guys have coming up on your show this year?
Ooh. By the time this goes live, it will have already happened. Carter's never seen John Wick. We're about to start watching all the John Wick movies.
Yes.
We're recording 3 days from now as the crow flies, our episode of the first John Wick. And Carter's never seen it. I think he's going to like it.
I watched it.
I hope he's going to like it. Oh, he has.
Oh,
what?
I don't want to say
I'll keep that.
No.
Poker face.
Yeah, we've been doing the podcast for about 5 years together, and it was like year one felt like there was talk of Wick a little bit. It feels like from the beginning, but I was just like, I'm going to hold on to this because I think these guys are the ones that I want to do this with, and so I'm very excited to do that leading all the way up to John.
Year
Wick 4.
5, of course, that's when you're like, all right, I guess it's going to stick.
It's John time.
It's time now. They're making a fourth one. Yeah, we should do it.
Carter, I just want to talk to you about John Wick so bad. I wish you
Gosh
hadn't told me.
gosh darn
I wish you hadn't told me that you'd
Gotta
already
wait
watched
till
it.
Friday.
I'm so excited to hear these episodes. I've been looking forward to this for a while.
I'm pumped.
That's great, guys. So make sure that you search for and find 2 chunks and a hunk.
Yeah, but before you do that, you need to stick around because I just happen to have another fascinating movie detail that I found.
You got so many of these.
The internet is a wonderful place.
Sometimes.
Spencer has made friends with Reddit, so he knows how to speak softly in its ear, and it gives him nuggets of wisdom.
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
And again, this is just a fantastic coincidence because I found this like 2 seconds after I listened to your episode on Cocaine Bear today. So again, we're keeping it relevant with your show. This is very interesting. It kind of gets you in the mind of the intention behind the creation of the movie. And I'm very curious to see if you guys agree with this, what this person's determination is, because I haven't seen it yet. But based on your discussion, kind of think how you might answer. But anyway, this person, Lord Ghosty 8, points out that in Cocaine Bear, a bear consumes a whole duffel bag of cocaine before going on a murderous rampage. This is a reference to how much cocaine you need to understand the plot. Is that like an accurate reference?
That's prosperous. The plot or prosperous, not prosperous. What is preposterous?
Preposterous.
That plot
preposterous.
is
Yep.
a
No cocaine
layup.
needed?
I don't know.
If you can't understand the plot of Cocaine Bear, I don't think it's drugs you need. I think it's a quick nap.
I had a Coca-Cola while I was watching the movie, and they haven't put that stuff in that drink for nigh on a century, and I had an easy time understanding it. So seems preposterous to me.
I think it's pronounced neon.
Well, Laura, we can cancel our cocaine order from DoorDash.
Right. Okay. Well,
We don't
on
do
that note, this has been Fan Theory Queries, and I'm Laura.
I'm Michael.
I'm Carter.
I'm Doge.
I'm Jordan.
And I'm Spencer. In our next episode, we finish up 2 Chunks in a Hunk week with Jordan, Carter, and Doge, who just said their names, by asking the question, did Kevin McAllister from Home Alone grow up to be Jigsaw from the Saw movies? Subscribe to Fan Theory Queries so you don't miss out on that and other fascinating fan theories.
Where's the strangest place you've lost your car keys? Inside the refrigerator, the washer or dryer, the trunk of your car, the kitty litter box? Well, good news, because even if you've lost your keys on the moon, you can still unlock your car and get where you're going with available digital key in the 2023 all-new Kia Niro EV. Farther for all. To learn more, visit kia.com/NiroEV today. Kia, movement that inspires.